we're showing Texas that there are other people out there. There's a different wrestling organization.
Bobby Lashley, welcome to WFAA.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being with me. You're now a Dallas resident, which I didn't even realize until you came to AEW and announced to you. How long have you been living in North Texas?
I just moved here about a little less than 3 years now.
Yeah, great. What made you want to come here? Was this a long time in the making, or how did that happen?
There was a lot of things that made me want to come here. Of course, in our profession, it's better to live in some of those states that there's no state taxes. That was one thing that was important. But I have a lot of family that live down here. My dad lives down here. My sister's down here. I have aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone. So everyone's been down here. I've been wanting to move to Texas for, past 15 years almost, it seems like. And when I had a little break at this time and my ex was wanting to move with kids, we decided to move down and been living in Frisco ever since, and I love it so far.
Yeah, great. Now, you came to AEW last fall. What made you feel like this was the right time to go to AEW?
I don't know if it was just so much the right time. I think it was the right situation more. Spent so many years in WWE and had a great time there, great run, had some great matches with a lot of the top tier talent. And I didn't know what I wanted to do with my career. There's a lot of things that I'm moving into right now. I have a couple podcasts that I do, a Dad Dojo podcast. I have one where it's called Phenoms to Legend, where I go interview different kids all around the world that are doing great things in sports and just kind of pick their brain. So I had a whole bunch of different projects going on. And when I was leaving WWE, I was like, I still have that itch to wrestle. I still have that itch to fight. So I'm still in discussions with a couple of fight organizations. But I still had that desire to continue to wrestle. And when I had a talk and a meeting with Tony Khan over there at AEW, it was just, everything was all thumbs up. It was the right decision. I think Tony's an amazing guy, and I like what he's doing over there. And I didn't know too much about AEW. I didn't know too much about some of the guys that were over there and some of the women that are over there doing their business. But when I went over there, I realized there's some amazing talent in AEW. And I felt that bringing myself and my group, the Hurt Syndicate now over there, I thought that we could really be beneficial for AEW, and AEW can be beneficial for us. We have an opportunity to run something back that we had cut short before, and a lot of those guys could kind of use a rub from somebody that has a bigger fan base, more of a following, and myself and Shelton Benjamin and MVP. So I just felt that coming over there, I think it was just right for all of us. I'm kind of in the tail end of my career, and a lot of guys that are there in AEW, they're in the beginning parts of their career. So it's just good to kind of work with them, the young guys versus the kind of vets, So I thought this energy was just perfect. And since I've gotten there, I am blown away by some of the talent that we've had an opportunity to be in the ring with. I already have some favorites across the board. In the tag team division, the Outrunners, I was just talking about them earlier today. I think those guys are super entertaining. I think they're phenomenal. The Gates of Agony, those guys are tough and they're good. They're really good. And then some of the other guys that we've got in the ring with, the Guns and Private Party and just Sammy Guevara, Dustin, of course. There's so much talent in AEW, and I think that just coming out here to Texas and having All In Texas, I think it's going to be an amazing event just because we're showing Texas that there are other people out there. There's a different wrestling organization, and I'm so anti-competition. Like, I'm not saying we're better or we're better. I'm just saying that the talent that we have at AEW, they are phenomenal. And for me, I always tell people, I have kids, so whenever we go and look for things to do in the city, we try everything. We've been everywhere. We've been golf, we've been to monster trucks, we've been to rodeos, we've been to everything. And I tell people, and I challenge everybody here in Dallas to just say, hey, AEW is coming to town. It is going to be an amazing show, So, and we're going to be there. The Hurt Syndicate's going to be there. We're going to be defending our tag team championships. So I think that all around the board, it's just going to be an amazing event, and I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, great. You talk about the Hurt Syndicate, and I remember when you guys got cut short in WWE, how many people were sad to see that, and I remember how popular you guys were at the time. Was what do you think it is that makes it so special, the Hurt Syndicate? Is just the chemistry you guys have, or how does that work?
I think it's a lot of things. I think one thing is just it's the chemistry between us. We are actually friends. So when we go out there, we're friends. We're like friends. We're like brothers. We fight all the time. People that watch us outside of us, they're like, "Do you guys even like each other?" Because it's friendly competition all the time between us, and I think that the crowd can feel that when we come out. You see with wrestling, they throw different people together, and you're like, do they even know each other? Do they even like each other? And it's like they're just getting together and they're trying to play a role. Not with us. Outside of wrestling, we hang around with each other. So it's just something that's real. And another thing I like with it is, I love this quote, sometimes you have to believe in somebody else's belief in you. And I think over the course of my career, I know what I was capable of doing. I wasn't able to get everything that I got. Same thing with Shelton Benjamin. Everybody talks about him. He's an amazing talent, an amazing character. Everything. He crosses every box. But the problem is that we were kind of held back a little bit to having the things that we should have had. Where some people were able to just get the green light the entire time. So the Hurt Business was kind of that. MVP was our voice because me and Shelton were like, all right, we'll do whatever needs to be done. But MVP is that guy's like, no, you're not beating him. No, you're better than him. No, we should be champs over here. So with that being said, we put it all together, and the crowd just loves it. I mean, they love our music. They love to chant, "We Hurt People." It's a great chorus that we have with it. Mm-hmm. But then across the board, we're legitimate. I mean, you go in there and you throw us in the ring. Sheldon is a multiple-time All-American in wrestling at the highest level. MVP has a black belt in jiu-jitsu, was a world champion in jiu-jitsu, and myself, I fought for years, was a multiple-time national champion in college and in wrestling, and then I fought MMA, and I fought 20-something matches in MMA, improved myself in a whole bunch of different areas, and we just look like giants, you know? So we are legitimate all the way across the board. So coming over there, we're the bad guys that you love to hate and love to love at the same time.
Sure. And now you've added MJF to the mix. What's that been like, adding MJF into there?
That is a very interesting piece of the puzzle. Mm-hmm. Like for me, I have a very small circle. I don't trust very many people, and over the course of time being with MJF, I never trusted the guy, and I'm still kind of leery. But I see that he does bring a lot of value to what we're doing right now. And he's starting to win me over more and more. He started to win me over. At the beginning, I just wanted to punch him in his mouth. I still want to punch him in his mouth from time to time, but I can say that he's winning me over slowly but surely. And I think that he might be a great addition to our group. It's something different, sure. You know, and that's the one thing that we wanted to do. We wanted to bring what we had, plus we wanted to bring some flavor of the old school AEW crowd back also. And since AEW, he's like one of the originals, it's good to bring him in so he can at least, one, get the rub from us. Two, we can understand what they're doing on their end, and he's a voice for them. So I think it wins either way.
Sure. What was it, so when you first came into AEW, was it a big, was there much adjustment to make, or what are the big differences that you see between working for WWE and working with AEW?
I think right off the bat, I know that the critics try to keep AEW down because they try to do so because anytime when they talk about a WWE guy going over, they act like it's a bad thing. And I keep trying to tell them, I am not a WWE wrestler. I am not an AEW wrestler. I am a wrestler. I wrestled for WWE for a good portion of my career. Now I'm a wrestler for AEW. So that's all you need to know me by. That's the one thing. And another thing with AEW, you have a little bit more creative input. I think the guys do. I think with WWE, they had their agenda and what they wanted to do, and you had to stay on course with what they were doing. I think with AEW, Tony Khan gives these guys an opportunity to kind of voice their opinion, kind of run their stories the way they would like to, and they have some say in it. Of course, he's the final say. So if he says no, no it is. But he gives these guys an opportunity to kind of hear their voice a little bit more and make changes accordingly.
Yeah, great. You mentioned earlier you were talking about talking with some fight organizations. And it's been a while since you've fought in MMA. Are you saying your career might not be over there?
I am still in great shape.
Sure.
And I went to the BKFC fights, I think it was last weekend here in Dallas. I try to go to all the events in Dallas. I love being here, so I try to support everything that goes on. I was at the rodeo not too long ago. I come to every event that I can out here. So I came to BKFC. I know the owner there, Feldman, amazing guy. He tried to get me into fighting there before, and then when coming back and watching this one, I was like, man, these heavyweights it looks fun. It looks fun to get back in there. And you know, you always get that point in your career where it's too late. And I'm itching towards that, I'm inching towards that, and I don't want it to come too soon. So, like, I look at things that I still have the ability to do, and am I going to fight 10 fights? Absolutely not. My kids wouldn't even allow that. Will I fight one, maybe two more fights? I think so. I think I have it left in my tank. Now, if you talk to me next year, that may be off the board. So, I'm just looking at the things that I'm capable of doing right now, and maybe one or two fights might be there. I like boxing. I'm a big fan of boxing. Even though I came from a wrestling background, I think that I'd like to do maybe one boxing match too. So,
Would you, if, I don't know, Jake Paul came up and said, hey, let's fight, you'd be up for that?
Yeah, you can give me the script and we can go ahead and do whatever we need to do. No, I mean, you know, one of the guys that I wrestled with made some kind of comment on it. He was like, man, you don't want to fight Jake Paul. And I was like, come on, dude. Like, first of all, if you don't have respect for me, I don't have to have respect for you anymore. But at the end of the day, you know, fighting is fighting. And Jake is doing some big things in the fight world. He's helping out boxing tremendously because he's bringing a lot of eyes to it, and the fighters that are fighting on this card are getting paid really well. I don't know if I'm the right matchup for him. I think what he needs is some more like seasoned boxers to fight because he's good. Yeah, he's actually good. So if he's good, he needs to keep fighting boxers that can legitimize him more. If I had an opportunity to box him, 100%. I'd do it tomorrow. You know, I stay in good shape. Let's go hit some mitts. Let's do some sparring. Let's get ready for it. I'd be ready. I signed a contract today. Sure. I'm not one of those guys that's like, I'm signing the contract because I want to spit in your face and talk trash. I'm not that guy. I'm the kind of guy that I love competition. So I'd love to be able to fight him and see what he's all about. See how good he is.
Sure. Are there any names that in AEW that stick out that you'd want to have singles matches with that you haven't had a chance to get in there with yet?
100%. Yeah. There are a lot of really good guys there. Like I said before, one person that I was talking about him earlier today. I think he has a tremendous amount of star potential in Will Ospreay. I think Will Ospreay is a star. I think he has what it takes across the board. And I think one thing that he needs is somebody to really pull that out of him. I mean, everybody wants to have great matches with him, but you need to have a good feud with him. You need somebody to beat him down and have him build himself up. And I think that I am a perfect person for that. I think I'm perfect for him, and I think that feud would be really, really, really fun to be in. Another guy that I was interested in is the guy that we're actually he's in line to possibly take the torch, and that's Hangman. Every time when I see him, I'm like, man, this guy is good. And then he's so quiet, you know, nobody knows, so mysterious. Backstage, he kind of does his own thing, but every time when I see him, I'm like, man, this dude's good. Then I see him out in the ring, and I was like, damn, he is good. Damn, he has a fight. Because I'm the type of wrestler that is not like, I want to have a match with him because we could do some cool stuff out there. I want the guy that can bring out a fight, and I can bring out a fight in him, because that's what I grew up. I like the fights. I like guys that go out there that it's like, we have a legitimate gripe against each other, and we want to fight it out. And that's what I want. And I think I can bring that out in a lot of guys there. But those two guys are on my list. And then the guy that I'm working at All In, those two guys, Speedball and Kevin Knight. I told Kevin, when I first saw Kevin Knight, I was like, man, this dude is like a Will Ospreay. Like, he's that good. He is really that good. And I was like, man, I gotta get in the ring, gotta have a match with this guy. And then we had like little brief stints with him over the last couple weeks. And each time I'm like blown away. I'm like, man, this guy is good. This guy is really good. So I'm excited for our match in All In, just because those two guys are legit. Speedball, when I first saw him, he had a match with somebody else, and he does this little kick, and then a head kick, and I was like, bro, if he even tries that on me, I will kill him. And then in the match, he moved out of the way, and bam, 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 and he was kicking me so fast and so hard that I didn't even realize what was going on until he kicked me in my head, and I was like, okay, now I see where that comes from. So that guy has some legitimate martial arts background, which I have a tremendous amount of respect for also. So going into this fight, we are going to beat these guys down as much as possible, but I am really excited to be in the ring with them. I'm taking that whole Floyd Mayweather philosophy. I'm going to beat these guys early, so later on when I retire, I was like, yeah, I beat him, and I beat him, and I beat him. But those guys are going to be superstars in this business.
Yeah. I was also curious, now that you guys are in the same promotion again, is there any chance we could see Bobby and Lio Rush reunite?
I love Leo.
Yeah.
I say it all the time, man. I love Leo. I think Leo has a tremendous amount of talent across the board. He's always doing something. He just needs a platform to be able to do it. Am I going to do something with Leo? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm sure down the road, if I spend some time with AEW, we are definitely going to cross paths. I mean, he has a tag team. He has a tag team partner. So I'm surprised that we have not crossed paths in that capacity. But I think we're definitely going to do something while I'm here in AEW, for sure.
Great. And we got All In coming up. Just tell me, for anyone who's going for the first time or is not too familiar with AEW, what should people expect from this All In Texas show?
I can guarantee you will be a fan of AEW after you go to the show. I can guarantee that. Because, like, myself, just coming over, when I was with WWE, it was like, I only have to be focused on him. I don't worry about the competition so much. Occasionally, I'll watch a match here or there just to see what's going on, but never, really watch the entire show. Once I made it over there, I was like, damn, this is really, the show is incredible. There is some incredible talent. I mean, what Toni Storm is doing in the women's division, it is groundbreaking. I love watching her segments. I love what she does out there. And then now her against Mercedes. Mercedes has been killing it, winning every title from every women's division everywhere. So that's a huge matchup. And I love to say that because, we talk about women in professional wrestling and how the level of women's professional wrestling has grown. These women are just that. They're at the top of the food chain when it comes to women's wrestling. Those two, first of all, they are great in the ring, and then their characters outside the ring are phenomenal. I think they are phenomenal. But then on the men's side, Moxley's been carrying the company for a while with his group, and he loves it. I can see his passion. I can tell his passion. Every time when he comes in, he's that hardest working guy that you would meet. Because he always wants to make sure that he's carrying that crown and carrying that title, even though we don't see it all the time. He's thinking out the best for the company, and he's doing kind of what we're trying to do also, bringing his fan base over there and bringing up other guys. Now they don't have to beat him to be up there, but just to be in the ring with him helps out everybody that's there for him. So just across the board, I tell people, if you have an opportunity to go and watch an AEW show, get there, watch it live, and you will definitely be a fan afterwards, because from the minute the bell rings, from the first match to the end, you will be up going, oh my goodness, this is crazy, wow, oh wow. It's an adrenaline rush the entire time. It's great for families, great for kids, because we do cater towards kids, but just families across the board. If you want to see an amazing show, AEW has it, for sure.
Yeah. All right, great. I think that's all we have. Thanks so much for your time, Bobby.
Yeah, absolutely.